And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault with his little boy, Adrian, and we are in for a show and a half today. I have a fellow train wreck done well named Shylo with us today, who I love. Just, I met her on the best day of her life, and it has gone uphill ever since. And just an amazing time. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm great. Love you, Dad. This is going to be a fun show.
I got interviewed by her one time, and she had a tremendous interview with me, radio show, podcast type deal. And it was so fun because she's such a professional. And this is a woman with a doctorate in reinvention. And I wanted her on the show today for people to understand no matter what's in front of you, it's the reason it's in front of you is because it's in front of you. And instead of living it from your past, into your future, like most people do, Shylo just takes a licking and keeps on ticking. And I think that's a message for everybody today. Those of you in corporate America, those of you getting laid off at the 7-Eleven, at the Walmart, everywhere it's going, it is tough out there. And to be around a straight survivor like this woman is an absolute honor. I love her because she's just tough. Don't you agree?
I agree 100%.
And she doesn't look like it. You know, she's an expert in AI, but I am positive this is not a hologram. This is a fresh-faced kid who is making good and making chicken salad out of chicken, which is really, really great for a long, long time. So, Shylo, how are you?
I'm awesome. I absolutely love you guys. Thank you for having me on. And you couldn't have nailed it better. I mean, I actually was talking to a few people in the last few weeks, and I'm like, I've had the shit kicked out of me in the last few years. And it's funny because 5 years ago when I met you, a little over 5 years ago, I was at that place where I'm like, woo, I don't know how it could get any worse, right? And as we keep going and evolving, I think it's this maturity or this calm that I've suddenly developed where this past year, if you didn't know, guys, I had the rug pulled out from under me. We lost our business in a day. I had all this stuff. We'll go into that. But I lost my dog. My dog died. My daughter went missing. I found out I didn't have a job same day as payday. It was like, what are we going to do? And I didn't panic. It was like, God has been preparing me for this type of attitude, I think, for the last 5 to 10 years, because, you know, as things keep happening, it's just our responses, it's our reactions. And because I've learned to kind of control it, now it doesn't mean I'm not a hot mess, guys. Sometimes I have complete meltdowns. I'm not going to lie and say I've got it all figured out because I don't. But I've learned to master getting back into this calm place and going, okay, what do I need to see? What questions do I need to ask? How can I respond in the right way? And instead of melting down and flipping out, you know, because I've seen some stuff, I mean, for real. And like I said, 5 years ago when I met Tom, I was at my rock bottom, guys. I was at my rock bottom, and this man comes into my inbox and says, hey, I need you to go here. And it changed my life forever. And, you know, we can start there, Tom, because yes, I mean, we've been on a journey together for this last 5.5 years as friends.
I cannot think of that guy's name. His wife's a model. His kids are models. He lives in Europe and is kind of an interesting character in his own way. Do you remember his name?
Danny, isn't it?
Danny Clark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Danny Clark. So Danny
Clark was he is the reason that I got connected to you. So he is a really huge reason for my life being here. I mean, I was not in a good spot, and we can talk about it. I mean, we had the live that went around the world. I did a massive Facebook live, you guys. I did a live that you don't do ever. I was drunk as shit. Let's just say the word. I was drunk as a skunk. I thought I was going to solve all the world's problems, and 10, 15,000, almost 20,000 people got on before I realized you got to get off this and delete it. But I thought I was right in every way until I got that phone call the next morning from Brian McMullen, and I was fired. Yeah, I was fired. I was losing my job, and I was just like, what did I just do? And I was praying for probably years to quit drinking, and I finally was like, you know, if you just eliminated this one thing, there would be so much less problems in your life. And talked to Danny Clark, who talked to Tom, who came back and gave me the door to save my life. And we did save my life.
And it was so adorable because It was chaos, you guys. Deer in the headlights. She didn't know me from Pluto. She thought it was some old guy. What the heck has he got up his sleeve? And we just started going to a bunch of those recovery meetings together and hanging out with a bunch of people in similar situations. Very few in my life have had such a dramatic, unbelievable occurrence like you had. I mean, that was epic. But what I loved about you was you were so strong in spite of chaos going around in the house with the family that you lived with. You also had communication and all kinds of living problems there. But in one day, you turned it around and stepped on the gas pedal and said, you know, that was me, but that's not me. It's not going to define me. And if they do what they want to do, which they were going to take all your money and do all kinds of razzle dazzle to you, so be it. I'm prepared for that. But I'm going to try to earn my way back into their graces, which you did with integrity. And here we are today, basically same day, same. It's just crazy. You know, stuff happens to us, whether you're drunk, sober, rich, poor, until you die. And it's going to happen. It's just how you react to what happens that carries the day. Right, Shylo?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's funny is it gave me an opportunity. It was like an opportunity to go, you get to start over. And when we talk about reinvention, I'm the queen of reinvention. I've said never again how many times we go through this, and it's like, but life is about evolving. You're changing, growing all the time. If you're not, you're dying. And so it's like, how do we take that and make it a superpower? How do you take that and make it something you can brand with? How do you take that and teach others to do that? Because we are all in this same. Right now, we talked about it. You talked about CEOs and big business and MLM and wherever you are, this is something you have to master, the art of the pivot and changing and becoming a phoenix and taking your pain, making it your purpose. We could say all the bumper sticker quotes we want, but at the end of the day, it's like, how do you take this and turn around and make it an actionable movement and create something that you can be proud of and grow from and inspire others? Because your story, and I talked about this today too on a quick live, is it's the art of storytelling. You have to be able to craft and share your story. That's what we do. That's what we do in our businesses, in any businesses. If you think about Tesla, we don't have to be an MLM to do a storytelling. People know Elon Musk, whether you like him, hate him, love him, whatever, you know his story. Yeah. This guy is the richest man in the United States right now. I think he still is. And he's done so many incredible things. But when you read a story or you hear just bits and pieces, it's pretty remarkable. We love that. But what we love the most, we don't love the success the most. We love the failures. Why? Because we can freaking relate to that. We can relate to Tom when maybe we can't relate to the actual story that landing a plane in the Walmart parking lot drunk. Well, that makes me feel better. I like this guy. I like this guy because he's a real person who's not afraid to say he's not perfect. We all relate to that. We can gravitate to that. Why are some of the biggest people, like you look at people in businesses and you're like, how the hell did they do that? They did it by sharing their story and being relatable and giving you the grace to be relatable as well and make mistakes. We've all made them. So if anyone walks in the room and their head's held high like this and there's nothing wrong with them, I don't run to those people. I don't gravitate to perfect people. I gravitate to the hot mess in the corner, the one that's over there that needs a hug, the one that wants to hear from me, or the one that like is not afraid to share their shit. Let's be honest.
I don't necessarily love, I see these people with their jets and I see them with their cars and I see them with their life and I see them with all this stuff. That doesn't draw me to them. What draws me to them is how they got there from here. Because if I look at those flawed individuals, and Elon Musk is a classic example of somebody that, what people don't know, it's not been that many years that I read his biography, maybe autobiography, I can't remember which one it was, and he was sleeping on the floor of his office. And he was so behind the eight ball, he was 48 hours from being out of business recently. And now he's looking at $1 trillion salary. And you're a lot the same way. Most of us are. And if we don't define ourselves by our failure, we inspire ourselves by our failure, knowing that maybe the next one's the one that gets us out of the trap and gives us our great life. I am telling you, I talked to somebody today that was so resigned. I finally agreed with this person who had made millions of dollars, but now her attitude's the only thing her company's great. Everything around her is great, but looking in the mirror, she feels like she's beat, and she is, because she said so. And I'm telling all of you the opposite. And that's why I wanted you to hear Shylo today, because she's the real deal when it comes to remaking yourself, rebuilding yourself, and especially re-believing in yourself. Right, Shylo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think what's really important when you're sharing your story and when you're when you're coming out of these phases, and we all do, and I think the best thing to know is the day you find out you're not perfect is a really great day. I say that a lot, like, hey, none of us are perfect and none of us are taking anything with us. So I also don't gravitate, like, you can show me all your cars, you can show me all the things. I don't care about that stuff. What I care about is, how did you get there, like you said, because I want to know that. I want to know how you pulled yourself out of bankruptcy. I want to know how you forgave yourself for having all these mistakes. We have experienced that. You can look at the iceberg on top. It looks this big, everything underneath, right? And I think that's what's important is when we're relating to people, it's like, just be you. And I think that's the hardest thing to learn, Tom, because we think we're being us, but then we filter a couple things. We're like, oh, I don't know if I want to say that, or like, just say it. Just say it. My new thing with people when they're trying to tell me a story, I'm like, and they're stopping themselves. I'm like, listen, just say it exactly how you want to say it, because that's the only way to say it. And it's okay, because if I judge you, I'm going to judge you anyways. Just say how you want to say it, right? It's like people get so caught up, and I've been the queen of this. I've filtered myself. I've held back on things, and I'm like, why? At the end of the day, if I would have just been my real raw self, the people who want to be with me will be with me, and the people who don't need to be with you. And you have to stop worrying so much. So I always tell people, post the picture, post the damn video, put the content up. If it sucks, great. If it doesn't, now who cares? You're going to learn from it either way, good or bad. And so I really encourage people to stop trying to be Tom, stop trying to be Adrian or Shylo. Be you, even if it's something weird. Like, I like to work on my plants inside my house and create weird, who cares what it is? Like, it could be the craziest, weirdest thing. Talk about it, because the people who are going to come in are those your people. It was really hard for me, Tom, up until recently, until I went through even more crazy crap in the last 6 months to a year, that I'm like, why do I care so much what people think? My God, because we all put our shoes on the same way. And I think that is one of the biggest hangups for a lot of people, even the people who are like, I'm real, I'm this. I'm like, but are you? Are you really real in this? Because we see a lot of filtered people, and a lot of people, and you can call AI what you want. You can be as real as you want or as fake as you want. AI will show whatever side you are. It's like money. It's a magnifier.
There you go. There you go. So I want to talk about this, like, this series of experiences that you've had, and like get into what it actually looks like to reinvent, and what it looks like from like a self-talk perspective, what it looks like from a finding out who your real friends are and who they're not perspective. Like, what are some of those things, right? Because whether you're on your way to it, whether you're in it, or whether you're coming out of it, like, those are the three, like, the wheels are coming off the wagon sooner or later. Like, it's just a question of at which one of those three stages you're on. And so everybody needs to know about this. And I think you have a really unique perspective. So take whatever you want from that, but like, let's get into like what that actually looks like and what you've learned.
First, it's radical accountability. You have to be radically accountable before you can change or pivot or do something. You have to be radically accountable for what you've done. Okay. That comes in stages. I'm at a totally different level than I was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was hanging on to a what financially, what I did 10 years ago, what I've done 5 years ago. And then all of a sudden watching income go down and going, I'm hanging on to this version that's no longer here right now. She's got to go back into grind mode, right? Like, so when you watch these, and this is a tough one, when you've had a lot of success and you've been consistent and you've had a lot of wins, you're like, it's never going away. It's never going away. But then when you watch it start to chip away, you're watching this old ego and this old person kind of go, I don't want to lose this. But at the same time, let it go. And when you start to let it all go, and this doesn't have to be money or finances, but it's a good example because a lot of people have gone through shifts like this, and I've watched my income kind of trickle and trickle and trickle. And I'm like, oh my God, $30,000 a month was low for me. Now I beg for it back, right? That's where I was last year. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, how did I get here? Radically accountable for the decisions you've made, for the choices you've made in your part. not other people's parts, your parts. So you're not a victim, okay? It's not victimhood. Yes, identify what was theirs and then take on yours and go, yes, I made some choices that didn't work out. Some of them were 100% my fault. Some of them I had no control over. Now let it go and forgive yourself. So if you're radically accountable and you have radical forgiveness, you can move forward. But if you start trying to rebrand and start over, you won't, because you're not learning from the lessons. You have to be willing to say that out loud. And then you got to take that and go, how am I creating that story now? Who am I? Because for a while I shared a story that was very victim-y, and I see it now. I'm like, oh, I talked about that a long time. I talked a lot about that video. I talked a lot about those moments. I needed it then. It no longer serves me now. That story is more funny than it is anything. It's like, hey, I've been there, baby. I've been at the bottom, and I'm gonna tell you that was a rough day, but it was the best day. Like Tom said, best day of my life was that day, because I got to be with Tom. I got to be with a bunch of amazing humans that helped me grow and heal. And now I'm at a stage where I'm like, I don't even care anymore. It's like I have had so many failures. I've made mistakes. I've started over. I've lost my income. I've built it back. I've lost my credit. I've built it back. And what is the story? Who do I want to be for you guys? I want to be the person going, listen, you can tell me the worst possible thing. I'm going to tell you it's okay. You can start over. I want to be that positive voice, that beautiful voice, and that person that gives you that big warm hug saying it's okay. Because I've been here and I know it's scary, but that's who you want to be. So you have to be radically accountable and radically honest about your choices, decisions. Take your accountability. And then you got to go, who am I going to be? And what is this story going to be now? I'll pass it back because I know I said a lot there.
No, that's huge. And
Said Richard Brooke never.
I don't have to know who he is, but that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, keep going.
So okay. So,
oh my God.
I love Richard. Richard, if you're watching, we love you. So right on. And I think you also hit on a big truth, right? Which is that you that came in waves, right? You like maybe you 3, 4, 5 years ago, you thought you were doing that. And then you can look back now and go, I was barely scratching the surface, and it comes and it kind of comes in waves. What helped you to kind of peel that back, right? Was it 12-step community? Was it friends? Was it meditation? Like, what are the things that like practically helped you to do that?
Honestly, in the last year, so I dug back into the old teaching, the old teachers, Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill. Then you go into Bob Proctor, and I went back into the things I know. Okay, yeah. Like I'm like, you know this, and fear took over for me. I had some medical issues that spanned into 3 years. That took me out in a different way. So I was never afraid, okay? I always led kind of fearless, and I'm like, screw it, I can do anything. And when your health gets threatened and physical ability gets threatened, you start to question all things. I've never experienced chronic pain until the last 3 years. I had nerve damage. I had multiple surgeries, emergency surgeries, drained my income. I was in fear on a level I was embarrassed of. I'm talking, I would just break down in fear. I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't do this. I was listening to myself, getting mad at myself. I'm like, oh my God, who are you becoming? It's like all my years of personal development went out the door. Yeah. And finally last year, I'll just be honest, I filed bankruptcy last year, and I was so ashamed on a level. I so ashamed. I worked all my life to have 800 credit. I mean, you guys, even when I filed, I had great credit. Like I was hanging on by a thread, and I was like, I have to do it. I have to do it, because if I don't, I'm going to drown. And I let go of everything. I lost pretty much everything. And then I started over, and I said, you're either going to crumble in this, or you're going to go back to what you need to do and pull yourself out of this. So I just dug into Bob Proctor every single day. Earl Nightingale, I listened to The Greatest Secret. I was listening to Napoleon Hill. I reread Outwitting the Devil. It's my favorite book I've ever read. I love it. The Secret, The Power, all of those books. My attitude changed. I'm like, I've got to hit this with gratitude. I've got to hit this with radical positivity and start to talk to myself better. Because I beat myself up, you all. I was beating myself up with a baseball bat. To like a business that did great, crumbled. Another one, great, crumbled. Then come back to a rebuild, and then come back into April, and boom, my job's gone after we were almost back to where we needed to be. And I just sat in it and I was like, what is going to get you out of this? You got to go to gratitude. You got to go to positivity, manifestations, affirmations, affirmations. So I don't know if you guys know, I'm sure you do, what an affirmation versus an affirmation. But I started practicing that, and I started tapping into the teachers, but also some new friends who came into my world. A pastor named James Wood, who has become one of my closest friends and helped walk me through some things as I was helping him with branding and AI, which is so funny. He came into my world, an incredible man and leader and friend. He's been in everything. He's just an incredible person. But when God starts putting people in your life and removing other people from your life. And if you can accept that sometimes things go and it's okay for them to go, to make room for the people who need to be here for this. And I did. I mean, not only that, my mom almost passed away. So 3 weeks after all this crazy happened, my mom almost passed away from a surgery that went kind of haywire. The man I was with was no longer, all in the same day. My daughter graduates. My other daughter had a crisis, another mental health crisis, and we were dealing with that in like a week. I went numb again. I was like, I'm going to start an AI branding business. I'm going to work solely on AI. I'm going to build the company I'm in and help them. And I just worked straight all day, every day. And that saved me as well. And sometimes it's just taking action. I know I said a lot of things there, so we can dig into that, but that's really it.
So you talked about 5 years ago when you and I met under unbelievably bad circumstance, and you had hit bottom, but you hadn't. We haven't hit bottom. We got another bottom in us always, but what that old bottom got you prepared for with these new bottoms. And as a result of that, what has happened to you would decimate most people. But because you've been through it, you can get through it. And you do find, thank God all the stuff happened to us through the car wreck. We found out who we thought we had some friends that we found out weren't. And we thought we had some people that weren't our friends that we found out were. And all that stuff comes inside of tribulation. And Adrian, I want to go to you for just a second, because you've had a very, very charmed life with an unbelievable mother. Your mother, I know you thought I was going to say me, but you had, and your education was great. Your trajectory in corporate America was great. And then you decided to get into this crazy game called What Your Dad Does. And it almost killed you. It almost killed me, and it almost killed us. Yeah. And we found out how low could be. And we found out where we needed to put our faith and our trust, which was in a God of our understanding at a level that literally trumps everything. We found, thank God for our wives. But it turned into a short list. But it made you, would you agree that the lessons, with all the education you've got, everything that you've achieved, aren't these lessons that you've had in your life the best lessons?
Yeah, for sure. And I resonate with what you said, Shylo, of like, I think you like whether it's levels or whatever, you're kind of like, you're on that boss of looking good or whatever. Like you're going to kind of like keep running up against the same thing until you conquer it, let it go, get, whatever that might be. But I identify that with you, that even now, right? Like, I think there's probably still some hard lessons from the experience of starting a company and the challenges that came with that are still kind of like, oh shit, I probably still like haven't totally figured that out. And it like is frustrating when like you're like, can we be done with this one? And it's like, well, you have to, like, it's your choice when we're done with this one, and you have not decided to be done with this one yet.
Right. Exactly.
What you have to be happy about was that you didn't spit on people from the top of the mountain. I mean, you were up at the top of the mountain, and you could have easily done what lots of people do, which is get really, really arrogant and think it was all you. And then when you fall, it's a free fall because there's nobody, they're just stepping out of the way to hope you land harder. But when you're truly authentic on the way up and you get to the top and you're real up there and you brought people with you, it's a whole different ballgame because they really, really care about you. And, there's so many things about your story that is so real, and you're so brighty. That's where I fell in love with you. But I've like watched you. I've watched you do everything you could. I've been on the inside of a lot of the drama in your life around your children and your relationships and stuff like that. And what I love about you is you're such a tough cookie that I never had a doubt you were going to get out of the trap. And I just want you to talk about that, because you never gave up. And I think there's a lot of people on here that believe that giving up is an option, and it's not, especially that final give up, which might be taking your own life, which has really been present for Denise and I over the last 12 months in a major way. We just want to reach out to those people that did it and say why you didn't need to. And those that are thinking about it, don't, is what I'm trying to get across. And you fought through what easily could have been something that in your mind at one moment could have justified you doing the ultimate mistake, and you didn't. And thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I was bred for this for some reason. I'm like, I must be bred for this. I have an incredible mother who, she has radical confidence. And I love the word radical. It's like my favorite, because she's radically confident. And something about that, she's seen a lot of hardships. And I watched her struggle through our lives. And it was something I'm like, I never want to do that. One of the challenges was when I've gone through my battles, part of that drove me to not get to that place, but also part of that drove me to her, knowing that this woman has seen far worse, and that if she can do it, I can do it. So my mother has become such a good, at a time where I never thought she would, my mother became an inspiration in a way she never thought. And I think I've given her a hard time in my life as well. We've had our battle royales, but our relationship, because of this, grew and actually became a good relationship because of my hardships, because I actually had to face something at 44. I know I'm 29 at heart. At 44, and go, I have to start over. I have to start completely over. And I never thought I would have to fight this hard again. I never thought I would be in this position again. And those fears come in. But knowing, even if you have just the support of a few, but having the God in my heart and what I listen to and my guide has got me through a lot. Yes. Have I had horrible thoughts? You bet. I'd be lying if I said, oh no, I never thought about maybe the worst decision you could ever make. Of course I have. But I'm strong enough to know that that is a short-term feeling that's going to go away if I can breathe through it. And every time I sat and talked about, what am I grateful for? What do I have right now? I am breathing. I'm safe. I'm warm. I have beautiful, healthy children. I have this. And I start making the list. And you guys, that has pulled me out of dark places. And it can seem so simple, but it truly pulls you out of the darkest places. Remember, somebody always has it much worse than you, that this is temporary, that something can change, a decision can happen, a question can change your trajectory. And it is sad. It is hard. I mean, I was selling things last year. I didn't even know what to sell. I'm like, I don't know what I have left. I mean, I have to, to start selling clothes. What do I do? Right. And when I tapped into gratitude, when I tapped into my God of my understanding, and I dug into that place and I stayed calm, everything changes. Even when you think it's the worst possible moment, 5 minutes later, that phone call could come in. I'm not afraid to reach out to people either. And that's another big thing, is don't be afraid to reach out to people. You're not a burden. I used to feel that way. I know the people I can reach to, but you are right. When things go, shit hits the fan, you find out who your friends are and who your friends are not, and who's there for you. And I will tell you, I lost some people that I was really surprised at. But at the same time, I gained angels.
I gained angels. Bang, bang. Try that one on, you guys. That's awesome.
That's huge.
I did.
You brought up Elon Musk at the beginning of the show, and I sent you this the other day, that he was talking about, I bought Twitter. Everybody just decided I was the world's biggest idiot and at worst. And it was just I was trying to raise the money to do this thing. It was a horrible thing. And he was talking to this guy who's some kind of fund manager. And he said, you called, I hadn't even called you. The guy called him and was like, hey, I want to give you a big check. Like, I want to give you like $5 billion of the 44 you need to raise for this thing or whatever. And, 4 of it's from our fund and $1 billion of it is my own money. And, you have done so much for me and for our investors. And I just want you to, and he just said, I went through a period of time where like I was really low trying to do this thing. And I found, I realized who my friends were, and you to this guy are a true friend. And, you do, right. And there are people out there who want to be your friend. And one of the things that you said that I think is really important is that you have to allow your need to be seen, because sometimes the people who want to come and help you meet that need are not the people who you would have thought they would be, but you have to allow them to see it in order for that to happen. Right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think that at the bottom line in all this is when you look at people like Elon or people, me, Tom, everybody, like when you look at people, everybody's living life. Like everybody needs something. Even the people you think are doing great are usually the people who are not. They're usually the ones that are putting everything out there, and then the back end they're dying. It's a mess in the back. And it's like everybody needs somebody to look to have that. But if you don't share, you'll never know who needs you. If you don't put that damn post up, if you don't start trying to do something of your own, you're never going to know, right? Like we have to do that. Like Elon Musk was literally hours away from bankruptcy, and he figured it out. It was that bad. Like I read his book. It was one of the longest books I've ever read, but it was so incredible. Like for real. I was like, whoa, this is really long. But I loved it because I'm like, this man is a straight hot mess. He's a straight hot mess. And look at what he's done. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to look perfect, sound perfect, nothing. You don't have to be the smartest person to make money, to have success, to get freedom. Really what we're all looking for is freedom. Let's be real. Anybody who's saying, oh, I just want to buy 1 million cars. No, they don't. They're doing it for freedom. They're doing it so they can buy 1 million cars. They're doing it so they have the opportunity. They can say whatever they want. If I want to buy a yacht, that's freedom. Freedom to go to the hospital and not stress about the bill. Freedom. I always talk about that. So what does freedom matter to you? And when you talk about quitting, Tom, yes, I see so many people just quit. They quit on their idea. They quit on their story. They quit on their company. And now there's times where you have to shift and pivot. I get that. I'm talking about quitting on your dream.
There you go.
Quitting on your dream. It's not the company. It's the dream. Why are you doing this? I'm doing it so I can have the best Christmas ever. Why am I jumping around the world and going to Paris and going to Mexico and going to Dallas and going here and going here and going here? Because the more I put myself in front of these rooms, the more I put myself in front of amazing business owners and opportunities, the more options I have for freedom, right? Consulting and branding and meeting new incredible people from all over the world, Spain and I mean, Peru and all these incredible people. Well, that's getting my ass off my couch, not pouting and going, I'm just going to go do this because I might not know what I'm doing. I'll learn along the way. Learn along the way. That's part of your transformation too. If you want to reinvent yourself, put yourself in a room you don't know anything about and learn as you go.
Watching you on social media with all that crud you put on your face and the things that you wear around. She's like a miniature Haley Hobson. So you do. I'm obsessed with both of you.
Yeah.
How real you get around, because, it's just so refreshing to me because you do look real great today. You look like a fresh-faced 44-year-old, 21-year-old. And it's really, really cool. But it wasn't, everybody, it's a process to get there from here. And what I love about you is the real part of you getting to where you are to go walk in those doors and feel confident and say, here's my day. I've got to be better. I've got to be bigger. I've got to be best. And I will do what it takes. It's consistency, it's preparation, and letting people win. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, we love you, man. You are. So how do people so what the hell are you actually doing these days? What can you help this audience with that would make them be a whole lot better at what they're doing, no matter what they're doing?
Well, I'm passionate. I love the AI and I love branding, but I love branding in general. So I do have AI, but and honestly, I'm not super worried about my go to this link and go to that. If you want to find me, got it right there. Instagram, it says Shylo. You can see my link tree. Here's the deal. I just want to make somebody feel important for the day. Energy is everything. Everything's energy, right? If I can brand you great. If I can share a story and you feel better today, great. It's not always about money. You know, I've been consulting for companies in the MLM space, outside the MLM space. It's not that. I've helped branding, I've helped with strategy. I love doing that too. But really, I love helping people. And I take my story and I go and inspire with it.
Yeah.
And whatever that does, whether that's I go stand in front of the room, great. If I stand in the back of the room and I'm talking to people back there, everybody we touch matters. And I think that's what's important. Like I thought about it, I'm like, I don't need to advertise a specific thing, because if you like my branding, if you like AI, cool, we've got something for that. But if you just want to be around me, go follow me. That's it. Have fun, like learn more about me, watch my story as I evolve, because I'm taking a totally different step, guys. Like I'm still in MLM, yes, but I'm shifting into a new phase, and I'm doing things that I love to do. I'm having fun traveling, I'm having fun consulting, I'm having fun branding and learning and building companies and doing all the things. Like that's what I am. So that's it.
And 6 months ago, you were dead broke to the point that you filed bankruptcy.
Like a year ago, and then I lost my income again, and then I had to start over again. So you know, you can do anything. You can do anything.
Never think that watching this show, you'd never get that. You would never get that she's ever had a problem in her life. She's never had a health problem, a money problem, an image problem, anything, because she did not let that define her. That's not who she is. That's what happened. And she had to get back to who she is. That's what everybody in this audience needs to remember and do is if you wonder what people are thinking about you, they aren't. They're thinking about themselves. End of story.
Amen. Amen.
Face facts. So don't let them see you anything except on your way somewhere. And if you're in a good mood, bad mood, no matter what mood it is, that's human nature. That's the way you are. You show them that struggle, everybody. They're going to see that you're made of something versus being this crazy, charmed person who seemingly has no problems. And that's what I want to get across to you. Start right now. Give up the past and the story. Grab the present. Invent a future that you love more than anything and go live into it. Right, Shylo?
Amen. It's so true. Amen. Just do it. Just take the action. Like, even if like it sucks to suck, but just do it. Like I was scared doing so many things, but at the end of it, on the other side of that, you're like, that wasn't so bad, right? Like maybe I fumbled today. Maybe I trip up. I trip all the time. I trip, I spill. Like show it. Show people you're a human being, because all we want is connection. We're in a world where we got totally divided. Let's get back to connections. This podcast, you know, reach out, touch somebody, touch points, send a message, do the live, do the reel. Who cares how it looks? Just be you and have fun. And if you can find your true self, you will start winning fast. It's rapid transformation.
So we're sending you your sweatshirt.
Yay!
Love like crazy, then love more. And we'll send you a couple t-shirts too, because we just think you would be great branding for us. And you are absolutely the greatest. And next week, this guy, Javier Di Miguel, or whatever the heck his name is, with it everywhere we are in the world. I mean, I don't care where it is, Australia, Costa Rica, all of a sudden he comes sashaying up, and he's just the most humble, cool, handsome, buff guy. I'm telling you what, I want to ask him out. He is unbelievably beautiful. And you guys he's the counterpart to Shylo. He's just adorable. And he's so kind and so nice. And he's coming on next week. When do we have the comedy show?
December sometime.
Oh, this wasn't the comedy show?
No, we're going to do it. There's a historian of network marketing named Ron Henley, he's got a museum. He's like 100, and he's got everything from everybody. Then you've got Robert Hollis, who's been in the industry for 500 years, who's got the most explosive, goofy laugh on the planet. And we interviewed him, and we were laughing our asses off. So we thought, what would happen if we had a history show with Robert Hollis, with Ron Henley, and Garrett McGrath with his goofy laugh. So we're going to do that in the next couple of weeks too, as a Christmas present
December
to all
16th.
of you. Huh?
I love that.
December 16th. It's going to be worth its weight in gold. So all of you, just be Shylo. Be Shylo. Go find her on Instagram. And every time you're feeling down, call up, reach up, find somebody, because all of us are trying to help you. That's what's so crazy. We're all trying to help you. You've got more friends than you ever thought possible if you'll just take the time to reach out and then be a better friend. Be the friend you always wanted your friend to be. And I was talking to somebody, and this person's listening, that was kind of troubled because this guy never gets invited anywhere. And I said, why not? I said, who do you invite? Where do you go? No, I don't invite anybody anywhere. Well, no wonder you don't get invited.
That's why.
You got to put yourself out there, man. Light yourself on fire and let people come from miles around to watch you burn, right?
Yes.
That's the game.
And I
So
want
true.
you to notice one more thing. So this guy, I've known this guy now for, how old are you?
41 years.
I've known him 41 years. So I love him like but look at the difference in everything about us. And look at the similarities. His cadence, I'm like a complete carnival barker, and he just picks it up and goes, and I just completely throw facts that have absolutely no reason for me to even say it. He's just absolute. So I'm telling you, you don't have to be Tom and you don't have to be Adrian. You just have to be a really good mix of the both of us, and you win. That's all I want you to know, you guys. I love you, Shylo. I love you. And thanks for coming on. You made our day.
Thank you for having me, guys. I love you all. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Doug.